One's ready. Go! So you guys are going into special warfare assessment selection. It is an attributes-based selection model. What does that mean?
Guys, are we running right now to get fitter? Are we practicing running? Practicing.
I can't freaking...
So there's a holistic picture that we're looking for. The instructors are giving you input, and we're expecting an output. And everything is for a reason. If you guys haven't heard my spiel yet, everything that we do, every single exercise, has a connection to the job that you're trying to do. We don't want people at INDOC, Special Warfare Assessment Selection, whatever they're gonna call the new course when it inevitably changes somewhere down the road. I don't care what they call it. What I need is you to show me the raw materials for the things that I wanna build you into. Just like everything else, it's a crawl, walk, run.
I'm running keys just like this. All the way to ATC, you never quit. All the way to ATC, you never quit.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the team room. It's me, Aaron, and Trent. And that Aaron may be a little dated now. I don't know how many people actually remember that skit. But
So it's gonna go. It'll go exactly like all these other things go, right? Like things become wildly popular. Sometimes they start off as like cult popularity. Like not everybody was aware of the Dave Chappelle show when Dave Chappelle started doing his skit.
That's true.
And then he got super popular, and then he kind of went away because he went to Africa. But don't worry, Key and Peele basically did Dave Chappelle's show. Like they just took his show and did it, and then that's how they got famous. But these things get super popular, then it gets unpopular, then it gets cringy, and you say it only ironically, and then people say it ironically enough that then sometimes you start saying it unironically, and then you get all the way back to the top, and then it's fun to say again. So I think we're just in the
cycle.
Yeah, we're kind of in the coming out of the bottom part of that cycle there. What's been going on with you guys? Anything happening in the world that's interesting?
People saying you lose your First Amendment when you join the military. That's about it.
That's not. That makes me so mad. It almost makes me actually care when I post comments on LinkedIn. I only have LinkedIn to troll.
Yeah, I mean,
only have LinkedIn to troll. That is the only reason why. People do not understand this about me. So I'll post something that's purposely just a one-off. This is whatever. If anybody, I said it literally to some army dork yesterday. I was like, bro, this is the comment section of LinkedIn. You are engaging in the comment section in LinkedIn.
Yep.
Just roll that around in your head, dude. Like you actually.
He's a true professional. You wouldn't understand. It's where business people go to meet each other.
It's the most ridiculous dumpster fire piece of crap garbage app on the face.
It's so fake
of the planet. It's awful. And that's what makes it so bad. That's what makes LinkedIn so bad. Is all these people pretending. I look at everybody's bio and it's strategic leader, problem solver, project management, TSSC, all these other things, and it's the worst. It's not real life. It's the most pretendy of everybody pretends on social media, whether they mean to or not, right? Like the conversations that we have, the way that we talk about things, whatever. People think that they know us. It's not real life. Okay. It's what you see on the internet. None of us are either as good or, in my case, as bad as you think we are in real life. And if you see us in long form conversation, it doesn't mean that you know who we are. So everybody pretends to some degree. LinkedIn, everybody does it.
Yeah.
Everybody just looked and be like, oh, this is what I need to look like and talk like. When people that I know very well will get on LinkedIn and have some posts. I'm like, you've never talked like that in your entire life. Not a single time have you ever used those words in that way. Yeah. It's the worst.
Yeah.
Congratulations, brother. They're lucky to have a leader like you after the last 20 years of you leading from the front, being the vanguard for the community.
The vanguard. I equate LinkedIn to, the required forum posts on a college.
Yes.
And not just like your initial
right,
post, but the responses.
Two additional responses.
Question. Right. I love how you said quote, and then let me just add on 3 more sentences onto it. That way, like, oh, look at that, I made my 250 word response. Okay.
My favorite part about it, and it's more, this is more a critique just at social media generally, right? But we've gotten into this weird thing where we've talked about how it's just broken communication. But the one aspect of it that I'm talking about is people will come into my DMs and they'll come out hot. They'll come out with some sort of ridiculous. I have a rule on social media, and you can see me do this all the time. All I do is give back exactly the energy that I'm given. If you come on the page and you're like, hey, I don't like the way you did this. Like somebody was like, Aaron, it was on the Donnie episode. Aaron was like, hey, Aaron, you interrupted the guest. You got to let the guest speak, man. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Input received. Did I talk over Donnie? Like, I know it's a problem with me. I got it. Yeah, good input. Another guy came into my DMs and was like, I can't believe you posted that. I looked up to you. I subscribed to you for a year. It's just terrible to see what you've become. And
Well,
I'm
brother,
like,
we all make mistakes, and you should choose your heroes more carefully.
good Lord. Yeah. Never meet your heroes. Absolutely not. Why are you making a dude a hero of yours? That sounds sort of gay to start, but whatever. But it's funny because later in this conversation, immediately I was just like, what do you want? Can we get to the end of this where you stomp off and you block me? And, can we just skip to the end where you call me an ist or a phobe and skip all like the emotional middle part where you tell me like you, whatever. But I'm like, later in the conversation, he was like, well, I just want to have a conversation. I'm like, this isn't how you start you start a conversation by name calling me and trying to shame me. Like, I don't know you. And and this is the point. In comment section on LinkedIn's and DMs and comment sections everywhere, people will come at you and they'll say something completely wild and out of pocket. I would slap you in your face if you said that to me at a bar. If you open up a conversation like that with me at a bar, I don't know why I would be at a bar. I don't drink anymore. But let's say I was there.
You're picking me up.
Right. Yeah, there you go. I'm there drinking my little sody waters with Trent. If you came up to me at a bar and you started a conversation like that, I'd be like, hey, can you do me a favor and shut the F up before I sing you a lullaby in this bar and lay you down softly to sleep? Because
Dude, but you've experienced this with people that you do see also.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like,
People
there's
off the
something
DM,
about this whole thing where it's like even people that we know that are friends, we thought at times, will like jump into your text messages and your DMs and all this. The whole you guys are clowns and blah blah blah, and it's like, huh,
Bro, I know you. I'm gonna be in your physical space.
Why I pick up that phone call, especially that one that you were talking about, and I'm like, hey, dude, what's up?
Yeah, and he's
what's going on, man?
one of my favorite people. It's so there's just something that happens.
Talking
like
about
even,
you, Jake.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
They don't need, and we don't need to.
But he is one of my favorite people.
It's Jake. Somebody asked me the other day, like he got a new job or something, and somebody was tangentially associated. He's like, "Oh, do you know this guy?" And I was like, "I do know that guy, as a matter of fact." And they're like, "Oh, that's cool. Are you guys friends?" And I was like, "Nope, we're not. Don't talk to him. I hope he does well for your company. Have fun." But the point on the communication is that it always takes like 2 or 3 messages. But then it turns into this weird thing where they're like, oh, you don't want to, somebody on LinkedIn was like, oh, you don't, they posted this long message and I did my favorite thing, which is I just typed wrong.
Oh,
They took time out of their day to write like a 500 character LinkedIn message response. And I just typed wrong and I went on with my life because again, I don't care. I'm not there to have a conversation with you. I'm there to expose your bad ideas in all of my social media and then mock and shame you for it. That's my shtick. I'm going to say a thing. You're going to say the counter thing, which I'm setting you up to say because that's how I structure my social media. And then when you respond to it in the way that I expected, I'm going to make you more mad so that everybody can see how crazy you are off of something not crazy that I said.
Yeah.
That's my point of social
remember
media.
when we did the Braveheart girl, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember what we actually called him. That dude came in and he was like, hey, obviously he lives in the UK or was, British in some type of frank.
Because how British people sound.
Because he said that stuff and I was like talking about council house estates and that kind of stuff. And I was like, well, yeah, actually, no, I did not grow up in one, but I am very familiar with them considering 8 years over in the UK. And I've got family that are from council estates. So I was like, yeah, I'm very familiar with it and ASBOs and all that kind of stuff. And he was just like, I just think it's freaking disgusting that you guys are just trying to pin this on brown people and those girls were out there causing problems. And I was like, well, hold on. We never said anything about
anything
brown people or anything like that. Like, what are you talking about?
I might have been thinking it.
And then
I definitely made the joke that the guy's name is probably Muhammad because that's the most common name in the UK. Guess what the guy's name was?
not, it was like Fahey or something like
Yeah.
that.
Okay. I
but-
was pretty close.
Yeah,
I
you
was
were pretty close.
I was in the arena.
Yeah. But then, you know, and just like, hey, that girl was actually the ones out causing problems. And then, oh, look at that. Oh no, he got arrested. The guy got arrested and found that the footage actually supported everything that she was saying.
Oh wow.
Oh
Wow.
no.
Well,
Like,
that's weird. Yeah. And that's a bigger thing too. The whole, you know, I'll wrap up the Instagram, you know, kind of communication thing. But when people come into the DMs, like, I don't know what's broken about people, that they'll come and talk to you and say the wildest thing to start, and then you return that same energy, and you're like, no, dude, this is not. Quit crying. This is a victim mentality. I don't want to talk about. And then they want to have like they're like, well, I just want to have a logical conversation. And my response is always the same. No, you didn't. You wanted to come in here and you wanted to argue from authority, argue from emotion. You wanted to argue from all these tangential things that aren't associated with it to make me a bad person. And now you want me to give you my time and really have a logical conversation after you started off like an absolute dork. No, absolutely not. It's LinkedIn. Nobody cares. You're not winning the war on LinkedIn, folks, or in the comment section, as a matter of fact. So,
well, you might,
but the information thing too, like I've been having obviously the biggest thing in the news is the Charlie Kirk shooting. So obviously, you know, people have been hitting me up, and this one has hit me in a weird way. I was trying to explain it last night. Like, it's really bothered me, and it hasn't I think I told you guys in the group chat too. It hasn't bothered me because the event was tragic. It's disgusting. It's abhorrent. I don't have they haven't made strong enough language for me to talk about what happens. That's not the reason that I have an issue with it. The reason that I have an issue with it is because I've been involved in this space. Like, I'm involved in conservative politics. I'm 1 degree of separation away from a lot of these pretty big names at this point. And when you're involved in that space, it's all looking at the future. You're never looking at the present. You're looking at what happens in 2 years of the midterms, 4 years of the general election. How do we emplace the people that we need? Because politics is a game. Politics is a long game. You're constantly looking in the future. So I've conditioned myself to look not just at the event, but what does the event mean, right? Sometimes it's not tragedy. You should never capitalize for political gain on tragedy. Let me say that clearly. But when an event happens, whether it's a bill that got passed or didn't pass or an interesting conversation, you're constantly looking at how can I leverage this to get my folks to do the right thing, to present the best idea. Therefore, that'll give positive output in 2-year or 4-year cycles in order for us to gain the power that we need to do the things that we need to do, which I think is best for America. That's the best way that I could put it. The problem with the Charlie Kirk shooting isn't the event. It's been the response to it, and it's been what comes next. And you cannot unring this bell. Because now what you're presented with, and I won't bore everybody with a long rant here, but what you're presented with is 2 very distinct cohorts in America. And it doesn't look like there's a middle ground. Because Charlie Kirk was that middle ground. And I can't say this enough. Charlie Kirk was the moderate. You dummies didn't kill Nick Fuentes. You didn't kill Alex Jones. You didn't kill Steve Bannon. You didn't kill Milo. You didn't kill some of these true extremists that are saying way wilder stuff, that are into some, you know, we know that the younger American, especially the younger American male culture, is sprinting to the right, where they're looking for an anchor. And the people that started sprinting to the right, oftentimes they would stop at Charlie Kirk.
He's the bridge.
He's the bridge. He's the guy that you get from being a liberal. These kids at college campuses, I guarantee there's thousands of them that went to a Turning Point event, thought that Charlie was a racist, a fascist, a misogynistic homophobe who hated trans people. And they heard him talk. And really what he was saying is, we have to tell the truth. You got to find God. You got to get married. You got to have kids. You got to lean into what makes this country great. Now here's a microphone. Tell me why I'm wrong. That's what Charlie was doing. And you killed him for it. Those 2 cohorts of people cannot coexist in the same America. The people that will kill you for speech, the people that will slaughter a 31-year-old father of 2 in front of his children and his wife on live TV. And that's exactly what they wanted you to see with Trump and Butler a year before.
oh yeah.
Charlie Kirk was what they wanted you to see. This was not the first attempt on Charlie Kirk's life. It was just the one that got through. This is not the first attempt at political violence, up to and including death. They've decided that death is a logical consequence for speech. for constitutionally protected free speech, and you killed the one guy that was trying to bring you to the table. I am worried about what comes next, because I can look into the future here, and the internet is two groups of people. It's people that are celebrating Charlie Kirk's death and then getting fired for it, and the people that are like, I cannot believe you're celebrating this. This is absolutely disgusting. And there's no middle now. There's not a middle ground to this event. There's not a middle ground to what comes next.
Well, yes, I agree with that. My concern though is the pendulum swing. So you had 9/11, right? And then all of a sudden we created the Patriot Act, the Homeland Security, we created TSA. I think there's a couple other things. I'm sure there are a couple other things. Obviously, we started a long war over it, you know. And everybody was thinking with emotions at that point and said, this is the right thing to do. We've got to protect ourselves, because they were scared, they were pissed, they were upset, and all that kind of stuff. So they thought emotionally. And then I hear people like Phil Labonte on Temple talking about like, no, you got to go after these people. Like, I want the FBI. He said this. He goes, I want the FBI to go after these people that are online saying, you know, cheering for his death and that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want that at all. I think that's a terrible idea. I don't want the FBI involved in anything. Find the shooter, find whoever, you know, and so supposedly that's the guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at my other part is the FBI has lied so often. Like, why are we believing things that comes out of their mouth anyway? Like, that's the part of it too. You know,
well,
but
and then
you can't expect the FBI or any kind of government agent to come in and go, all right, fine, we'll only do to think that you want the FBI to come in and start cracking down on people's speech is mind-blowing to me.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what some people are calling for on the right-hand side. And I'm like, what are you talking about, dude?
Really?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, and that's why, because you forced it into this issue. And I'm telling you, when young American men look back and they say, what radicalized you? Right? Like, you could ask me, like, how did you evolve to such strong and unwavering, I'd like to think, principled positions on your side of the aisle? Like, I am a conservative. I am an American. I'm a registered Republican because I don't want to register as independent. I truly feel I'm an independent. If a Democrat ever comes up with some great things that I think are good for America, happy to support. There just aren't any. But you forced it into a binary. This situation, September of 2025, is what this young generation, kids that are 15 through 24 right now, when they say what radicalized you, they're going to say September 2025. The stabbing of Irina Zarutska on the train for no reason. It was a racially motivated random attack. She lost her life. And the slaughter of Charlie Kirk in September of 2025. This is the watershed moment. And I don't know why people don't understand how big this is from a lot of different things. The left has no idea what they've done. The right, and then Peaches, you're exactly right, in their call for accountability and retribution and revenge and a reckoning, and now they have a martyr. The right has very rarely had a martyr before. Trump was close, but he was fine, and then he went back on the talking circuit less than a week after someone tried to shoot him in the head on live TV. And he just turned his head, and that's the only reason why we weren't talking about this a year ago. But you force it into a binary where there is no middle ground. And the right is going to clamor for Palantir and facial recognition and all these other things as a fix to it. And unfortunately, they're not wrong. They're presented with a problem that
they
is
are wrong.
Yes, they are wrong.
They are wrong.
Well, it's like the guest we had on yesterday who was like, you know, in order to protect yourself from like some of these sexual assault allegations, you have to wear a body cam, right?
100% of the time, right?
With volume 100% of the time. That's not a real solution. That's not what should happen.
Right.
That doesn't increase anybody's freedom. Palantir and all this other stuff is not good. Like flocking over to the tools of the you know, authoritarianism because one of your people got shot, presumably by somebody that disagreed with him, is not a good reason to abandon all of your so-called principles and embrace security over freedom.
Yeah. And it's the Hegelian dialectic, right? So the Hegelian dialectic is that people in power will create emergencies, and then they will give you the fix to the emergency and slowly take away your rights. So if they're allowed to take away your rights during a time of emergency, then the Hegelian dialectic states that they will make emergencies in order to take more of your rights
And
away.
you never get those rights back.
Never.
That's it.
And
like,
that's what
we're ever
that's
going
what,
to get rid of TSA, Homeland Security.
and that's why
Patriot
this problem it's a real problem, and people are not tracking it. Like
No.
I won't talk about it from a singular side. I will say that this doesn't happen to the left. The whataboutism of, oh well, this happens all the time. The right side does it too. No, they don't. A Bernie bro shot up a Republican softball game. They have a Republican baseball game.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Scalise almost died. That guy walked in with a rifle because of left-wing ideology. He said that was the reason why he was doing it, and he shot people on the right. They tried to assassinate Donald Trump. They firebomb, and this doesn't, it's not only Republican politicians, but it's still coming from the left. Josh Shapiro he was the presumptive for like 3 weeks. He was the presumptive VP candidate that was supposed to run with Kamala Harris, and they ended up not picking him for a number of different reasons for Tim Walz. I want to say thanks to the Democrats for that. That was the best possible thing you could have done for the Republicans.
Timmy was great.
Timmy's terrible. But Josh Shapiro's house was firebombed with his family in it. You know why? Because a leftist Marxist ideologue that didn't like his stance on Palestine firebombed his house when he didn't vote the same way. They'll be like, oh, well, Democrats have been killed in Minnesota. They had a guy that went around and killed Democrats. That guy was a Democrat. He worked for Tim Walz. The female congresswoman, I'm blanking on her name, the reason why she was killed is because she voted against free healthcare for illegal immigrants and broke party ranks. She had a news clip where she was terrified. She was like, I have to vote my conscience on this one. This is what the people wanted me to vote. I have to vote against it. And she was killed for it. So they'll bring these things up, and you're like, right, that was.
Don't ever listen to your constituents. That's right.
Silly. Yeah, that's what got her killed allegedly.
Yeah.
Yep. Like going back to it, I just don't. Okay, so taking a different avenue. Obviously, we don't want to cancel free speech and anything like that. Like I'm highly against that. But then, what about the folks that are not just the active duty folks that people are going after? Like I'm looking right now. Let me just share my screen.
The senior out at Herbie. That dude's great. The senior master sergeant out at Hurlburt.
Good. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second.
No, but I mean, like, this is a pretty big account.
Oh, bro, there is a 40,000 entry searchable database now.
Yeah.
I'll
and
find
now
it.
All these active duty, and I'm like, and it's not just that. It's the other people, like this lady too. Her husband's the owner of an electrician. Like, people are rocking up to these people's work.
Good.
Sure. Maybe not.
Good.
I just, you better be willing. So what happens if somebody pulls up to that dude's electrician? I don't even know where it's at, right? Pulls up to somebody's place of work, trespasses, ends up getting rocked, just shot. The dude that's like, I'm coming up, I'm pulling up on their work, gets shot. Like, what? And we're like,
I don't know.
What's going to happen?
What was that lady saying?
What's going to happen, Peaches? Are they going to shoot a prominent right-wing influencer on live TV? What's going to happen if that happens? And
that dude that pulls up will get shot.
Yeah, fine.
Maybe.
Yeah, and here's the thing, and here's why I'm so flippant about it is people talk about these things in a silo, and they're like, oh no, well, yeah, the Charlie Kirk thing was bad, but now all these other people are getting outed for saying these things, and then they're getting doxxed and they're losing their jobs. Right? This is the game that you started. I want
to be clear. You need to be accountable for your words. I'm not saying that you like. Guess what? If you say some shit, right, and that's your I protect your right to say some dumb shit. Like,
but freedom of speech is not freedom from consequences.
Exactly. We could be face to face, and you say some shit. That's your right to say it. Now, there might be consequences. My fist might be coming at you, but
that's, by the way, I want to push back a little bit there, because that's the argument people are using with Charlie Kirk. Is that maybe he shouldn't have said all those things. So I want to be clear. Freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequence, but that consequence should never be death. It also shouldn't be imprisonment. It also shouldn't
not
be
from words, but from actions, for sure. Somebody breaks in my house, that's the consequences.
Got it, right? But speech does not have the consequence of death, right? Violence.
I agree.
Right. So,
right. But it wasn't. in theory, it wasn't probably a government agent that, you know,
Right.
we didn't throw him in jail. So like this is the difference, right? If Charlie understood that people were trying to kill him, like he wasn't a stupid person.
No,
And does he deserve to die for the words that he said? Absolutely not,
no.
right? Like I think we can all agree on that. There's a difference between a random person taking a shot and the government saying you cannot say this and we're going to put you in jail, like in the UK. As long as your name is not Muhammad, you're going to jail for what you say, and we're going to put you in jail for like 10 years for your Twitter post or whatever.
For your memes, for selling stickers that are anti-immigration. The point is, though, is that this is the game that they started. The right is essentially doing cancel culture. Like this is just the next round of people getting canceled, right?
Yep.
But it's not like we invented it. We just paid attention from the last 15 years where conservatives, I mean, we put people in jail. We talk about the UK all the time. Somebody was put in jail in 2016 for making memes about Hillary Clinton because they said that affected the outcome of the election. Nothing he said was untrue.
Which is
wild. He didn't make things up about Hillary Clinton. He went to jail for it. He ended up getting out on it. But we put him in jail in America for speech, right? This game that we're playing right now, good. I hope everybody loses their jobs. I hope you post some stuff like this. I hope everybody on the website loses their jobs over it. I'm here for it. Because whether you like it or not, that's the game. Right. And again, that's part of it, that for a long time, the left has played a game that the right wasn't playing, right? I've said it before, but political violence is a dial. The left understands that their political violence is a dial. They'll just tick it up. Oh, we're gonna call you a racist or a homophobe. That worked in like 2008, right? If somebody called you a racist, then there was, 2 weeks of you breathlessly defending yourself that you weren't a racist, but you were already maligned, and that worked for a little bit. Well, then that didn't work. And then we started sharing stories that you weren't supposed to. And then people started getting deplatformed. People started getting demonetized. They invented algorithms that would shadow ban your message, even if it was true. They took people out. Dave Rubin got kicked off of Twitter for saying that the vaccines wouldn't stop the transmission of COVID. That's what he got kicked off of Twitter for. That's a true statement. We know that to be true. It was true at the time, and it's true now. But that narrative couldn't get out, so they just turned the dial up. And then it was, well, we don't like what this administration's doing, so we're going to protest. And then those protests turned into $2.2 billion worth of damage and 14 people dead nationwide thanks to the BLM protests. And then they burnt and firebombed a church down in downtown DC, and they blamed Trump for it, and that didn't work. So then we started debanking people like General Flynn. Tick, 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 turning that dial up. Well, now you're not allowed to bank. Now you're not allowed to live. Kanye's crazy. He's a crazy person. They debanked him. They made it so he couldn't live life. They did it to Owen Schroyer. They did it to Alex Jones. They did it to Gavin McInnes. They did it to Nick Fuentes. They tried to take away these people's ability to learn. Tick, 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 ratcheting that dial up. And then that didn't work. And then they started firebombing politicians' houses. And then they tried to kill a future president of the United States, and they missed by a quarter inch. And that didn't work. So tick, tick, tick. We started firebombing Teslas because Elon was working with the administration. Tick, tick, tick. We started doxing ICE agents. We started putting people in real harm and real danger. And that didn't work. And now they've dialed it up to killing people. Now they've dialed it up to, no kidding, assassinating one of the most preeminent political figures that was on track to become president of the United States, because that's what they were grooming Charlie for. They killed him in front of his kids for it. Yeah. What they don't understand is that to the right, violence is a switch. It's not a dial. It's on and it's off. The people that talk about the right side of the aisle, the biggest problem that they have with them is that they go, nothing ever happens. We know that Hillary and Obama and Joe Biden engaged in collusion and corruption to spy on an American president through FISA warrants and try to stop him through lawfare from getting the presidency of the United States of America. These are all true facts. They're incontrovertible. They're proven. They're proven through every single piece of information that we can find. We know this. Nothing happens. No arrests. Epstein, nothing happens. No arrests. And it's because the right has emergency breaks of God and family and culture. Phil Abante frequently says people with families don't engage in revolutionary behavior. Largely people on the right are people with kids and people with jobs, and they can't take off on a random Tuesday to burn down Los Angeles because they don't want immigrants to be sent back home. The right doesn't have that. You didn't see any protests after Charlie Kirk. You didn't see any riots. Nobody burned down a Wendy's in Charlie Kirk's name, because they don't do that. because they're constantly like, okay, hold on, let's stick to our principles. We're not the other side. That's over now. Looking at the output on social media, the switch is on. And unfortunately, the only thing that's been stopping this country from really true divisive, near civil war sort of behavior is that one side refused to play the game. And now you force them into a position where now they are playing the game. And the social media backlash where people are getting fired for it, that's one of those signals that I'm looking at and I'm like, oh no. Typically the right didn't involve themselves in cancel culture. It was very rare on that side, you know, in my silos of my conservative internet presence. It's very rare to see those posts pop up, be like, oh, look at this terrible thing they said. Here's their employer. You should call them. My feed is flooded with that. Filled with it. Flooded. Here's a Marine recruiter that says
push back on two things though.
Go.
That you said the Epstein thing, you know, the right is just as guilty, and they are not like the Republicans. No. I mean, look
they had it the first time.
Dan Bongino, like dude. So I don't buy into that. Like the Epstein files bullshit is just the left. It is all of them. All of them are pieces of.
To clarify,
no, you did.
I didn't say it was just the left. I said I said the Republicans never do anything, and they never release. They said they were going to release them.
They ran on it, and they didn't do it,
and they didn't. That's
and they're
fair.
Every single one of them is a piece of shit. And then also the switch that you're talking about, right? There's only the real switch is only, or not the real switch. You have Republicans, most of them won't do anything. You're talking about G-Waters. Those are the only people that have done violence and are willing to do violence. And that's really who both sides, both parties want us to go away, because we're inconvenient and we're scary.
Well, yeah, but I mean, when you look at it, there are bad signals that are happening, and that's one of the reasons why. Like when you look at the right putting together a website, again, you can only push people for so far. Like you can only for 10 years. I mean, I get it every day. You're a racist, you're a Nazi, you're a homophobe, you're a fascist, you're a bigot, you're every ist and every name that they could possibly say, to include death threats on my family, all this other stuff. There's this idea out there that it's like, oh, well, you're just seeing like the worst of them. You know, there are normal Democrats out there. Oh, really? Because the normal Democrats out there, the people that are just like rank and file normie Americans, they're the ones that are celebrating Charlie Kirk and getting fired.
Yeah. Old Wes is a normal Democrat, right?
I was wondering if you were going to
I think old Wes Bryant. God dang,
dude, that message we got from lowercase.
Doomsy.
I'm like, how come every time somebody's name pops up, somebody, you know, when I call somebody out, somebody goes, "Hey, weren't they on the ONESREADY
podcast?" Every time.
Like, dude,
every time.
I don't know, man.
Man, I don't know. It was 4 years ago.
We say yes to everybody. It could be. I mean, is there a person that we would say no to?
No.
I mean,
I just don't believe in that you don't platform somebody. I believe in the complete opposite. I believe in you platform them, you let them say their dumb thing, you either push back or you don't, you either agree with it or you don't, you have a conversation, you get a conversation out there. I would never be like, no, I'm not going to platform you because of something you did. It had to be something pretty, like I won't platform a pedophile. I won't have like a minor attracted person come on and talk about how it's not that bad.
Well, we will. We just have a wood chipper right out.
Maybe in person.
Hey,
that would have to be in person.
Yeah. In person. You know what else I do in person? TastyGames.com. Yay! TastyGames.com. Get your creatine, pre-workout, hydration powder, and nootropics. How you like those nootropics, Aaron?
It's my favorite. The nootropics are absolutely rocket fuel. Some of the other ones give me headaches. Like I didn't like taking them. I've been on those tasty. I just actually got through them, so I have to put my order back in to get more nootropics. Dude, fire. Exactly what I need. So good.
And then Trent, you got the pre-workout gummies that Aaron and I kind of missed out on.
Yeah, because they like me more.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
that checks.
That does check.
They're really good. We've talked about it before. The convenience of having these things is incredible for someone that's on the go a lot. For busy people, you have to eat a fair bit of those gummies to get the amount of creatine that's going to overcome your lack of sleep and all this other stuff. But it's nice because you can just take them to work. Your friends love them. You pop a couple pre-workouts and some creatines before you head to the gym. If you're in a hurry, it's fantastic. You can't overstate how convenient it is and how much that makes a difference, especially when you're traveling.
Yeah. It's huge. So no promo code. Tastygains.com. Check them out. This one's the strawberry creamsicle. Oh,
Promo code is Shrek.
Jesus Christ. That is not the promo code.
or is it Valhalla? Valhalla VFT.
Valhalla would be better. I don't know. Those
so
guys are
funny.
pretty good friends. They're going to bear the hatchet, I bet.
You think so?
No, absolutely not. No, they're not. No, they
I was
are
going to say,
not.
you've got a more insight to that. And I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
they're not. Yeah, that was a joke, everybody. That ain't happening. I think
you think that ship sailed, huh?
that ship may have sailed, my friend.
How
There's some
unfortunate.
problems in USASOC, my friend.
Sounds like some army problems. I always tell them that too. I'm like, listen, not my community, not my circus, not my monkeys. You guys do whatever you want. Sounds great. I'll just be minding my own business over here. It's just like working for the teams when you're in, dude. Man, where do you need me? I'll be right there. If you need me, call PJ up. If not, you guys got some work to go handle. So if you don't want to let me go handle the work with you, I'm cool. Let me know. I got the bag. You call me.
Yeah.
Screw PJ up.
They got some stuff going on, don't they?
Yeah, but speaking of our community, like people like Wes, right? That came from like similar places that we did, that in theory had similar experiences. How does someone like that? And I'm not saying that all of us all think the same thing all the time. Obviously, we have minor disagreements even on this podcast amongst the three of us. But how does somebody like that get to where he is posting the things that he's posting about right-wing extremism when talking about the moderate, right? When talking about all this other stuff and kind of like jumping full, into the deep end of the pool of, left-wing ideology. Like how do you get there from starting it presumably from a very similar place that we did?
I actually have no idea how you do.
What do you mean? I can explain this one clearly.
Other than you just stay on LinkedIn or something like that.
You just watch mainstream media. Like that's the other part of this, how to tie it into the Charlie Kirk shooting and the evolution is people, my good friend of mine, was like, oh, well, Charlie is hateful. I'm like, give me a clip from whatever left-wing source, clipped out of context, whatever statement that you want to say that cost this man his life. I was like, it should be pretty easy to find one because he's a good American.
Thousands of hours of him talking online.
Thousands of hours.
Before this happened, his stuff was always coming up.
Always. And it's people are like, oh, well, all he did was like talk to college kids, like own libs and stuff. And I'm like, you have never, I can tell that you've never watched Charlie. I can tell that you've never heard him speak at a speech, or did you watch the debates of him over in England? Like he wasn't just owning libs. He was having debate and having conversation. The beef with Charlie was like, well, he would just clip the dumbest answers. No, he would clip the answers. That's what we're not getting here. Is that there's ideas that are good for America and ideas that are bad for America. And when you just let the other side talk, if they have a bad idea, and this can be left or right, if they have a bad idea, you do this weird political thing where you just get out of their way. You just let them explain. You can do it with any issue. Okay, just explain your point to me. And these people can't go deeper than the headlines. So when people like Wes that probably think they're a little bit smarter than they are, they've probably got the same human condition that we all do of ego and imposter syndrome and not knowing what you don't know and all these other things, when that starts playing in, and then you just ingest what the media is giving you. If you just ingest the media, the world, if you just sort of turn your brain off and exist in the world, you will gravitate towards these positions. You will gravitate towards these things where you will say things like words are violence, and not having empathy makes you a bad person. And the problem is that you get to a point, like Wes is at a point right now where he doesn't think the other side are good people with bad ideas. He thinks the other side are all bad people that have ideas, and those ideas are also bad because they came from bad people. And then you get it will literally paint you into a corner that will have you just like these people, just like Wes, just like these people out on the internet. They will justify the slaughter of a 31-year-old in front of his 3-year-old and his 1-year-old and his wife on live television for the world to see. They will justify it because he's a bad person. He's got to go. They're not calling you a fascist. These people out there, these anti-fascist, anti-conservative ideas, I don't even know the woke left ideology or leftism, or I don't even know what the correct label to put it is now. They've made everybody into a fascist so they can kill them. They're not killing fascists. They're labeling people that so that when Charlie Kirk does get shot, there is a huge portion of America that goes, oh, well, speech has consequences. Guess you shouldn't have said those mean things, which we all know are violence. So you're a bad person. You had to go. I'll justify it. That's terrifying.
Like you said, that's crazy, because if that gets turned back on them, it's not going to be, it ain't going to be good.
And it ain't just the predominance of people. You know, there are a couple million people. We talked about it kind of during COVID. Joe Rogan had a pretty famous quote on it. There are millions of people, millions of middle-aged American men that fought for this country, got good combat experience, and came home, and they just want to be left alone. Yeah. And typically those people slew conservative. Dave Smith is a great comedian. He's got some good takes, some bad takes. I don't agree with everything he says, but overall, I think he's a net positive and he's great. Dave Smith was like, you dummy, you killed Charlie Kirk. He was the moderate. Do you think that you're going to fight these people? He was like, the first time I saw an Antifa rally, these dudes in black, black garb, the black bloc dudes and the mask and whatever else. He's like, have you ever seen them actually get into a fight with just these random boomer types? He was like, the random boomer types kill them 3-1. He was like, the first time I saw these Antifa dudes throw a punch, he was like, oh, you're not tough guys. You're cosplaying as tough guys. You're theater kids that think you can cover your face and that you can intimidate. But then when it comes time for physical violence, you get smoked. And Dave Smith was like, it's not just he didn't say it's not just the GWATers, but to your point, it's not just GWAT dudes. It's an entire silent majority of Americans that live in rural America that will not play these games. Dave Smith was like, man, there are gun enthusiasts that have more guns than all of your friends that have thought that they've armed themselves. There are people out there that just super casually have more guns and ammo in their house, and you don't know it, than all of your friends do. All of them. Like, that's the terrifying part, is that there is a silent majority that you've called racist and Nazi and fascist and bigot, and elected officials have said that everybody that follows Donald Trump is a Nazi. Joe Biden said that MAGA is a threat to democracy, and 70% of the population that voted for President Trump is now apparently Nazis and fascists.
Yeah. Some dangerous rhetoric.
And the gaslighting of, now the Democrats the leftists have a real problem with, because I don't want to make it all Democrats. The leftists have a real problem with crying victim as they're striking you. They shoot Charlie Kirk, and then everybody's like, can we finally get the right to turn the rhetoric down that led to this? And everybody's like, what? It's like the position
you made me do this.
Well,
it's on The View.
Yeah.
That they had someone on there, and one of the ladies was like, well, this is terrible, and we should all come together. And he was like, y'all have been calling these people like the scum of the earth, like they deserve to die forever, and now you want to turn around and play kumbaya?
For 2 years, you guys were like, go punch a Nazi. It's okay to punch a Nazi. It doesn't matter who's driving the Tesla, firebomb the Tesla.
Yeah.
Like, that's where we are. Punch a Nazi, firebomb a Tesla. And you're telling me now that we need to turn the temperature down and we need to turn the rhetoric down. I can play a 10-hour supercut of elected officials. These aren't rank and file American people. These are elected officials that are out there going, get up in their face. If you see them eating, Maxine Waters, if you see them eating out in DC, get up in their face. They're not allowed to have a meal. We need to fight them. AOC, protests are not supposed to be peaceful. AOC said that. They're supposed to be uncomfortable. You're supposed to go out there and make change happen. All of these things. And people treat it, then an event happens and people treat it as if it's in a silo. And they're like, oh, well, where did all this temperature turning up come from? You guys have to turn your temperature down. It's gaslighting. It's retconning. It's just lying to the American people. It is, and it leads to people like Wes Bryant. Like, I don't understand how a guy can get that radicalized. All you have to do is live.
Go to college, spend time in DC, get a government job.
Done.
Done. Well, I think we should take this over to the members only. So if people want to know like what's actually happening, go ahead and get yourself that membership and head on over to members only to get the thrilling conclusion to this chit chat.
Yeah,
that's right. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Join us over on ONESREADY.com. Pick yourself up a piece of merch. We also have slots available for the Operator Training Summit happening at the end of October in Nashville. We're going to be camping on a ranch, working out on a ranch, and then we've got a pool that we're going to be doing 10 to 12 hours of pool work in.
Heck yeah.
So, yeah, it's going to be Gorgeous brother.
Brother.
All right, we'll see y'all later.
Like.
Like.